Okay, welcome to the Geography Lab channel, and today we will be discussing about how to do the georectification of the basic raster data, that is scanned images or any topographical maps. Okay, so first of all, for doing the georectification we need to download the topographical map. So this is a very interesting and very good sources of the topographic map worldwide provided by the University of Texas Libraries, Austin. So from here you have to just there are several kind of grid classification. On the basis of that, you have to just click on the grids and automatically it will open the associated or corresponding topographical map as a JPG file. Okay, so for downloading these images you have to right click on the image and click here save image as. Okay, so in this way you can save this topographical map into your local drive. Okay, so after saving the topographical map you have to go to the QGIS interface. So from there you have to go to the raster data and you have to add these two raster data. Okay, so here you have to select the JPG file and from here you can find the JPG raster data. Okay, so in this case I have downloaded the the raster images of Mumbai coast, that is the west coast of the India, and it is a two, these are the two topographical map which are basically successively overlap. That means the upper maps is the lower portion and the lower map, that is the Kalyan, is basically the upper portion. Okay, so in this video I am going to do the georectification or registration of the raster images so that we can just place these two images in a proper orientation. Okay, so in other words, georectification means giving the latitude and longitudinal information to the raster images for fitting over the globe. Okay, so that is the main basic theoretical understanding of the georectification. Okay, so for doing the georectification you have to go to the raster and from here you will find the georeferential. Okay, so georectification sometimes called also as a georeferencing system. Okay, so just go to the georeferential and from here you will find the open raster button. Okay, so now you have to just click the open raster and you have to select the downloaded JPG file. So here I am selecting this file. Okay, so ANE4301A. just open this file, you will find the the image will be appear here. Okay, so after opening the images you have to go to the setting option and from here you will find the transformation setting. That means you have to give some basic information on the basis of which the software will do the georeferencing. Okay, so from here there are several sub tabs where we can just guided the software to use the appropriate attribute to georeferencing the images. Okay, so first of all we will find the transformal type polynomial 2. So these are the some basic polynomial transformation type, basic transformation types: the linear, Helmholtz, polynomial 1, polynomial 2, 3, spline and the projective. Okay, so depending upon the which kind of maps we are actually doing the georeferencing, we have to choose the different kind of transformation setting. So generally the polynomial 1, polynomial 2 and polynomial 3 are used for the planar surface. Okay, for polynomial 2 you have to remember that you need at least 6 ground control point. Okay, that means you need to have 6 location with known latitude and longitude. Okay, for polynomial 1 you need at least 4 known location or ground control point with longitude and latitude. Okay, so in general the polynomial 2 is basically used for the square shaped map or the planar map. Otherwise, if we have one kind of a simple conical map or any another shape map, so we can shift the transformation accordingly. Okay, so anyway, I am here selecting the polynomial 2, and obviously the resampling method is the nearest neighbor. It is the most common used resampling method. Now the thing is that we have to select the target coordinate system. So for selecting the target coordinate system, you have to click here. Okay, so before selecting this, you have to specifically investigate the lower portion of the images. For example, this is the lower portion of the images, and you have to find that which kind of datum is actually used in this projection system. So here it is showing that transverse marketed projection had been used for drawing the projection system, and the datum is the average period. Okay, so this is the the datum and the projection system information for the scan topography image. So again I am going to the transformation setting, and here I will find the Everest datum system or coordinate system which is available in the QDIs. Okay, so if I enter the Everest, so now you will find, so you will see there are basically these are the Everest geographic coordinate system. So if I click here, so it is only for Bangladesh, it is India, Nepal, it is modified for the all over the world. Okay, so these are the some basic you have to click here and you have to check which geographical area is basically suitable for the Everest geographical coordinate system. So I am selecting here Everest, India and Nepal, because our map is basically located here, the western coast of the India, that is the Mumbai and that surrounding region. Okay, so here I am selecting, that's why the geographical coordinates Everest, India and Nepal, and its authority ID is 37203. Okay, so 37203. okay, just click the OK, and okay, so that's it. So after that you have to give the output raster name. So I am giving here modified 1. The compression type should be LZW. Okay, so rest of the part will be as it is. Now after choosing the proper transformation setting, you have to add some ground control point. Okay, so for that you have to click this button, and you will see in the lower left corner of this window you will find the add point button. Okay, so here just click the left click and one pop-up window will appear. So you have to put the appropriate value. So here our value is 72 degree 00 minute, and north is 20 degree 00 minute, and okay, so my first ground control point has been added to the GCP table. Now I can add the second point, that is 7330 east and 2000. Okay, so in this way I can add the 6 or more than 6 GCPs into the this table. Okay, or into this map. Okay, so I already created the GCP, so I am going to added here this GCP. So this is my GCP, and here you can see I have added 6 I think more than 6. This is the 8 ground control point into the interface. Okay, so now the most important thing is that you have to check the residual values or residual pixel values. Okay, so keep in mind that these values should be less than 1. Okay, or maybe the minimum values in the residual column indicates the accuracy level or the higher accuracy level. Okay, for say example, if I consider my GCP point number 6 has the maximum residual value, that is the 0.41. okay, so that means the 7 and 6 are the points where most of the error has been occurred. Okay, so in this way the minimum residual means the minimum error and the maximum residual means the maximum error. Okay, so generally we generally consider that the residual values should be kept as minimum as possible. Okay, but less than 1 is mandatory. Okay, but if the residual values are actually going beyond the 1, then you have to collect the GCP again. Okay, so this is the main funda. So after giving all the properties and all the name, you have to just put the click the run button. Okay, so if you click the run button, it will says that progression indication. So and after some time it will show the georeferencing successfully done. Okay, so in this way now I have to check that georeference image which I just created. So our format would be TIFF. So just go to the GeoTIFF version and this is the name, and just open and add. Okay, then go to zoom to layer and you will see this is our georectification map. Okay, so in this way I have already created this georectification, or already done this georectification of these images. Okay, so now you will see that before georectification these images were actually overlapped with each other, but now the images is actually positioned or arranged as per their location over the globe. Okay, so now for checking whether our scanned image has been successfully georeferenced or not, I have to just add one base map. Okay, so from here I am adding the OpenStreetMap. Now you will see that west coast of India is quite successfully overlapped with the base level. Okay, or base map. So in this way we can actually do the georectification or georeferencing of the images. Okay, now the another thing is that you see there are lots of information or extra information behind or surrounding the maps. Okay, so this information is important for identification of the map features and all these things, but if I want to join this map, because you will see we can't actually join this map because there are certain portion which are actually blanked, and this which is actually blanked. So but we need the images where we have a continuous image. Okay, or continuous map. Okay, so that means we need to arranged, or we need to placed, or we need to merged these two maps in such a way that the ending point of this map should be placed just before the starting point of this map. Okay, so for that we have to do the mosaic option. Okay, so if I do the mosaic within these two images, so it will not work. Okay, let's see what normal mosaic can do. Okay, so from here you have to go to the rasters and miscellaneous, then from here you will see the merged raster option. Okay, so from here click the merged, and in this merge option you have to give the raster name, or you have to select the layers which are actually we are going to merged. Okay, so rest of the field will be kept is as default. Okay, and click the run button. So after some time so depending upon the map size it will take some time, and it is already saying this done successfully. Okay, so now our two rasters have been merged with each other. Okay, but if you see what I was talking earlier, that the ending point of this map and the starting point of this map are not perfectly aligned with each other. Okay, because of the gap which are associated, or which are gap behind or below or upper of the two maps. Okay, so for that we need to do some kind of the trick. So these tricks basically are the clipping the raster. Okay, for example, this is our upper raster. Okay, so we need to just clip these sections of the images. Okay, so for that I have to create one specific shape file or polygon file to clip the raster only with the map data. Okay, or we will and we will eliminate all the others unnecessary information. So for that just go to the layer and click the add layer and add vector layer. Okay, so from here you will just give a name that upper raster. Okay, one second, sorry. So we have to go to the layer and create layer, and from here you will find the create shape file layer. Okay, so from here you have to give one name. I am giving the name as up raster, and rest of the and this ports geometry type will be polygon, and the projection system will be based on this base layer. Okay, and click the OK. After that our raster will our vector data will be created. So you have to select this vector data and click this toggle edit button. Okay, so the toggle edit button actually enable the editing option. Okay, so after clicking the toggle edit button you will find the add polygon option just beside the toggle edit button. Okay, it is a green sign. Okay, so after the add polygon you will just have this circle type cursor symbol, and just click the appropriate corner, and again click here to draw the square or rectangle or the polygon. Again I am clicking here, So my raster has been created successfully. Okay, so now from here you have to click the save button and just off the toggle edit button. Okay, so now what can I do is just the blank the polygon to see the underlayer or underlying map. Okay, so for that you have to go to the properties and symbologies, and from your simple fill and fill type you have to select the no brush. Okay, so you will only have the boundary. Okay, so now we just created one raster layer, vector layer. Okay, and a vector layer, and the boundary of the vector layer or the polygon just perfectly align with the necessary information of the maps. Okay, so that's why we don't need the information beyond this boundary or beyond this map boundary. Okay, so after creating this the rectangle vector or the polygon, we have to go to the extraction and say the clip raster by mask layer. Okay, so after creating this vector layer or polygon layer, we need to extract the raster images by mask layer. So go to the raster and extraction and clip raster by mask layer. So click here, and here input layer will be the upper layer, that means 4301 modified, and in the mask layer will be this the just created the vector layer, and rest of the portion I will keep as default. And now I am going to save this layer as masked upper. And just run the processing. So our masked has been done successfully. Now see, only the necessary information is actually there, and rest of the others information we are actually eliminated this information. Okay, so we don't need the information behind this blue box. Okay, we don't need this information. Okay, so after this we only have the necessary information. Okay, so in this way, in the same way, I can create the second images also. So these are my two images here. Okay, so these are the two images after eliminating the outer boundary. Now you will see the joining point between these two map. Okay, so if you click here, so this is the end of the first map and this is the starting of the second map. Okay, so now these two maps are actually perfectly aligned with each other, and these two maps is actually we can actually prepare one single map using these two maps. Okay, now I can do the merged option. From here select the merged button, and I am selecting here the RC2 RC1 and OK, and rest of the portion will be default, and click the run button. So after some time the merged will be happen. Okay, now see our merged layer is this. Okay, so now you see these images are perfectly aligned with each other, and we actually have a continuous image. But if you see the earlier merged image, so this is the earlier merged image, okay, where we have the gap in between these two images. But the new merged image, we are actually eliminating this gap and we have a continuous map. Okay, so in this way we can actually create, or you can actually georectify any kind of the scanned image, and we just merge those images with each other. But we have to select, or we have to choose how do you actually want to merge those images, depending upon the necessary information or the necessary part present in the map itself. Okay, so for today that's it. In the upcoming video I will do the the creating of shapefile and the digitization and all those stuff. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Subscribe the channel and like the videos and share with each other. Thanks for watching the video once again.